Yeah, okay. Isaiah the 34th chapter. We're going to continue on to see what the day of the Lord is, or when God's wrath is going to be poured out. Isaiah 34 verse 1: Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stank shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Verse number 8: For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Okay. The year of recompenses. Let's go to Joel, the prophet Joel, and see what he has to say about the day of the Lord. Which he had a lot to say. Joel, the first chapter, and let's start with verse number 15. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Okay, so Joel is basically saying the same thing that Isaiah said. He's seeing the same thing. He's been given the same message by God. Joel chapter 2, verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Who can abide the day of the Lord? Perry Stone is trying to say that the day of the Lord is 7 years. The wrath of God is 7 years. Let's look at Joel's, the second chapter, and the 31st verse. Actually, we can start with verse number 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Sounds like the church to me. Verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire, pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. So, what we see here is a picture of, we see signs to look for that lets us know exactly what's getting ready to happen, exactly when the day of the Lord or the day of God's wrath is about to begin. One of the signs is, it said, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. Well, we see the same thing in the book of Revelation, and I believe it says the same thing. The Lord said the same thing in Matthew, the 24th chapter. Let me look real quick to make sure I'm not saying something that's Matthew 24 verse 27. Actually, let's start with Matthew 24 verse number 15. When ye, and this is the Lord telling his disciples what signs to look for, or what's going to happen in the end. Verse number 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Okay, so right there we determined that that's the beginning of the great tribulation period, and it's going to tell us that. Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay. Verse number 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days. After what tribulation? After the great tribulation. We just read it. What's going to happen after the great tribulation? Verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. This is what Job saw and the message that he was given of what was going to happen before the great and terrible day of the Lord. The sun will be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. It won't be a secret rapture. Every eye shall see him. And those that are the wicked, they will be very afraid during that time. But the righteous will be glad, will be happy, will be expecting him to come and waiting for him to come. And it'll be a great time of joy for the church. Verse 31, and he shall send his angels, and here's the rapture. He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to another. And you know, notice that there's a trumpet blown right there. It didn't say last trumpet, it didn't say seventh trumpet, but the trumpet is blown at the time of the rapture. Okay. If we go to 1 Corinthians, and we already talked about it, 1 Corinthians 15th chapter and 52nd verse, the Apostle Paul said that it would be the last trumpet. The rapture is at the last trumpet. And keep in mind, the rapture and the resurrection of the dead in Christ is a simultaneous event. Okay? So wherever you see in the Bible where, you know, the Lord talked about the resurrection, one time he came to Martha, I believe it was Martha, her brother had died, and Jesus got there after he had died, and they were crying, everybody was crying, and she said, Lord, if you had only been here, my brother would not have died. And Jesus said, your brother shall I think he said, your brother shall rise again. And Martha said, well, yeah, he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, you know. So the people during that time, you know, that doing Christ's ministry on earthly ministry, they understood, you know, Martha understood that the resurrection was at the last day. The last day. Not 7 years before the last day or 3.5 years before the last day. She said the last day. And Jesus even verified, the Lord Jesus Christ verified that himself, and he said the resurrection was in the last day.